Okay, here we are with an upgrade that I've been eagerly anticipating. So what I've got here is the Philips Hue HDMI sync box. This is the 8K version, which is taking over from the 4K version. So I'm running the 4K version at the moment, which is what you're watching here. So what this does is it's a little hub that controls your Philips Hue lights. So I've got a couple of Philips Hue play bars along the bottom and a Philips Hue play light strip running around the back behind the TV. I like using this when I'm watching sport because it makes me feel like I'm actually at the cricket. Like the pitch is being beamed onto my wall there. Of course, it's also great for movies, for explosions, car chases, fireside scenes, all of that stuff. It really gives us a lot of extra atmosphere to all of that. That's great. You're watching this at the moment. We've got a Google TV streamer with Chromecast plugged into it, and then the sync box is then plugged into the TV. So that's all well and good. However, being 4K, it does have certain limitations. And I will show you one of those now. So I've also got an Xbox plugged into this device as well. So as you can see, everything just switches over automatically depending on what device that you're plugged into it. There's a whole series of ports. So I'll show you in a minute how that works. And so if I load up my Indiana Jones game here, you'll see that as I walk around the room, I go into a darker corner, the light will go down in that corner, but it's still bright over here. So once again, you get that really, immersive experience. It makes you feel like, here we go, we're in dark, so the lights have gone out over this side. That really immersive experience that really brings you into the game. That's great, but I can only run this at 60 Hertz. If I change the settings on the Xbox to 120 Hertz, which of course makes the game look better, look smoother, the lights just don't work anymore because the 4K sync box can't handle that. So I'll be interested to see what the 8K box does with that as well. And then if I just turn that off and let that all just sit there and reset for a minute, I've had one other peculiar problem, and I think it's to do with the sync box because I've taken the sync box out of the equation and everything works fine. So I've also got an Apple TV streaming box plugged into the 4K sync box. And supposedly, when I start that Apple TV up, so if I do that now, it should wake up the TV. And then, of course, the Apple TV screen should then appear on the TV. But see this? And it's like the TV's going, hang on, what's turned me on? I don't understand. And the information from the Apple TV, which is my favorite streaming box, there just seems to be too much information all at once and it doesn't come on. So I have to use another source first and then swap it over to the Apple TV, which is a real pain. So I'm going to be interested to see with basically with the 8K box, you've got the HDMI 2.1 ports on there, which I'll show you in a minute, and there should be more information being exchanged between all those devices to get this working a lot better. Fingers crossed. This is a bit like tech review roulette. We'll find out what happens. But first, let's take a closer look at the new device. Right. So as I mentioned, today we are looking at the Philips Hue HDMI Sync Box 8K, and this is the next step in the evolution from the 4K unit here. So as you can see, they look fairly similar, although as you can also see, there is quite a difference in size and weight. The 8K one, there's a bit more to it, apparently. So it's heavier and slightly larger, only slightly, really. Very similar configuration at the back. So you've got 4 HDMI inputs, 1 HDMI output, a mysterious USB socket, although we have upgraded from the micro USB to the USB-C on the new one. It's not that mysterious. I've done a bit of research, and apparently you can plug that into your TV, and then your TV knows that the sync box knows that the TV is on and starts syncing. I think that's what that's supposed to do. But with most modern TVs, I don't think you need that because the HDMI will take care of that communication for you. The big difference with these HDMI ports, though, is that on the new HK version, they are HDMI 2.1 ports. So that's a step up, and that means that they carry significantly more information than these older HD. I know they look the same. How are you supposed to know? But anyway, that will mean that you will need the proper cables to do that with. There's no point plugging an old or a slower cable into an HDMI 2.1 and expect an 8K feed to work. The 8K feed will work with this if you've got a TV capable of supporting 8K. But only at 60 hertz. The thing that I'm interested in, as I mentioned before, is that 120 hertz refresh rate at 4K, which is what the Xbox can supply. So we'll see if that works. Let's plug it in, and we'll see if it helps with my Apple TV problem as well. Now it's a strange sort of a business. You can't just have the sync box by itself, and of course you'll need the lights. Just to do all those pretty background Atmos lighting effects. You're also going to need one of these. This is the Philips Hue Bridge. But if you've got any Philips Hue lights, you'll need one of these anyway, because the Philips Hue lights don't generally talk directly to your Wi-Fi router. They connect through this, and you can control them through this. And it's good having a hub like that because it means that there's less pressure on your router. Your router's only having to deal with one device, which might be talking to 30 different lights around your house, instead of all those competing for bandwidth on your router. So as you can see, everything does start adding up a little bit, but hopefully, as you'll see, it's worth the investment. Let's plug it in and find out. Okay. So the SyncBox 8K is now all plugged in, and I've paired it using the Philips Hue app. You don't even need that sync app anymore. There used to be a separate app, but you can just do it all through the Hue app now. Add that device, get it set up, name all the sources and things. And one of those sources is my Apple TV streaming box. So let's just see what happens. Now, I haven't even turned the TV on or anything in the setup process. Just did it all via the app. So we'll see if this works, fingers crossed. Let's turn the TV on, but then we got this far before, didn't we? Boom! We're in there. Look at that. And you can see I just finished watching the final episode of White Lotus last night. How happy am I about that? And so the other test, of course, is if I just switch on the Xbox. Okay, just a minor technical difficulty there. I had the wrong thing plugged into the wrong thing because the HDMI inputs are the opposite way around on the new box. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Let's see if we can find that setting and change it. So, refresh rate, here we go. And we're going to bump that up to 120. Yeah, keep that 4K there, that's for sure. And if we go back, and pop into that, and my controller batteries are low. Let's resume this game, and yes, you can see that the lighting effect that I showed you before is indeed working now, and we have the smoother refresh rate of 120 Hertz. Got to be happy with that. It's solved all my problems. It's working better and faster than ever. And now, if I want to, if I had an 8K source, I'd be able to stream that too.